It is 12:05. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Maryam Mkwanda. This program has been brought to you by Al Baraka Bank, your partner bank. So on today's hit list, we have Dr. Nasiba Kathrada. She is dubbed as the lady behind ivermectin, a brave hero and a remarkable woman. Dr. Nasiba Kathrada is a qualified general practitioner. After qualifying from the University of Natal Medical School, Dr. Kathrada decided to put her medical career on hold to start a family. Um, Dr. Kat is also involved in numerous community upliftment programs, and she has a special interest in empowering women. And we're going to catch up with her in a moment to find out more about her life as well as being the lady behind ivermectin. I do believe Dr. Kathrada is joining me on the other side. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Nasiba. Shukran for joining me.
Assalamu alaikum. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't. Okay, let's see if we can fix things out. Is your mic on mute? Can you hear? Is everything okay on your side?
I can hear. It's very soft, so I can barely hear you.
All right. I'm not sure what is it. Maybe you should try increasing the volume on your end.
Yeah, I'm on max. I'm on maximum volume.
All right. Okay. We're going to see if we can fix if it's on our side. Do stay with us. So Dr. Nasiba will try again in a moment. All right. So we're having a bit of a technical difficulty here. Dr. Nasiba is struggling to
Can
hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm going to try and concentrate. If you ask me questions, I'll try because
All right.
I can try and lip read.
Okay, let me try and speak as loud as I can.
Better.
All right. So, Dr. Nasiba, you were one of 700 doctors who wrote a letter to the president to allow the use of ivermectin to treat COVID-19. All right. So, we're going to get into the ivermectin and COVID-19 a little later. Let's start off with your journey in medicine. When did it begin, and did you always want to be a doctor?
Well, actually, my dad was a doctor, and my uncles, two of my uncles are doctors. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was growing up. All I knew is that I wanted to do something. So, alhamdulillah, when I did really well in matric and I came out 20th in the country, whatever I applied for, I did get into. So, I applied for chemical engineering, for accounting, for medicine. So, I did get placed, and I think after I got my acceptance, I decided, okay, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And then I started, then I went to med school. And alhamdulillah, I have no regrets because I have a very business mind, which I realized after starting med school. So I've combined the both. So I run a business and a medical practice. So I've got a company called Dr. Katz, as you know, and I develop my own products. I manage my own business. I'm a CEO of the company. And there's the medical side. So it's the best of both worlds, you can say.
Wow, what a way to fuse your knowledge as well as your passion. Now, you started off as a general practitioner and then ventured off into weight loss and aesthetics. Tell us about that. What inspired that move?
Well, I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
This was me. Okay, so that was me. I generally don't show this picture, but I'm going to show it to you today. So that stays on my office table for anyone to see. So I used to be 87 kilograms, and this was after my daughter was born. So what I decided to do was I started selling Tupperware and honey jewelry, and I looked at a picture of myself once, and I pulled out a rather large chair, and I said, enough. And I started losing weight, and more women were asking me about weight loss than they were asking me about jewelry. So I realized that there was something here. And of course, my mom was a bit mortified that she would tell everyone that her daughter finished med school, but she was selling Tupperware or jewelry. And so I decided that, you know what, there was definitely a niche market where people needed help. And after doing some research, I found out that the best diet that a person can follow is one where they find somebody else that has followed the same plan and gives them advice. And I thought, what better person to do it than me, because I have a medical background. Somebody who's got high blood pressure or asthma or diabetes or polycystic ovaries, I'm able to give them guidance from a medical side as well as from a nutritional perspective, and having had the personal experience of losing over 30 kilos. So
All
that's
right,
when I
Dr.
started my
Nasiba,
practice.
if you don't mind, can you please show us the picture again so that we can get inspired also?
Okay. So
All right. Yeah.
there was a lot
Yeah,
of
no.
me.
Yeah, no, after this year, you will definitely be getting more calls so that you can help more people, inshallah. You may continue, please.
Yeah. So when I started the weight loss program, it was started off in a garage of my house, and I had two little children then. So I used to do school rounds, madrasa rounds, swimming, extramurals, and in between I would see a patient. And it went from seeing about one patient a week to two or three a day. And now, alhamdulillah, most days I'm fully booked and I work my own hours. And then about 2012, I think it was, somebody came and asked me about liposuction. And we all know traditional liposuction as the one where you cut a person and go into theater, etc., etc. And I happened to be in Hong Kong the same year, and I saw an advert in a parking lot, and I did some research, and there were a few places in Johannesburg doing it, but nobody in Durban. So I started aqualipo. Actually, then I started laser lipo, where we make a small incision, use a cannula, blast the fat cells, and suck them out. But it's done in my room. So I started that in 2013. But that was more like an adjunct. So very few patients come in just for liposuction. They will come in for a weight loss plan, an eating plan, and then we'll do the liposuction. And I was a bit late in joining today because today I've started something new for the first time. You're the first person to know this, Maryam. I just started IV nutrient therapy at my practice. I've been getting lots of phone calls after the whole ivermectin story about people who have long COVID. They get a lot of tiredness. They've had COVID 3 months ago or 4 months ago. They just can't seem to. They just fatigued all the time. They can't breathe properly, and then they also have brain fog. So I was doing lots of research as to what I can do to help people, because you can't take ivermectin in long COVID. It's used when you got COVID, but now we're getting a lot of people with the symptoms, and it's really a problem. So alhamdulillah, I did some research, and the best thing is high dose vitamin C, but you can't take it orally, so you're going to take it IV. So I just did my first IV, and I'm so excited because we just added that on as well. So first of Ramadan, first for me, and you get to be the first to hear it.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, what an achievement. Now, let's go back to the aesthetics and weight loss. What methods do you use to help your clients with their fat loss journeys?
So I do my own supplements, and I do a body type analysis for my patients. So when you come in, there isn't like a standard one. So every time a patient, I will do, this will be like a body type, will be an A type person, or this will be a P type person. So I will do an analysis. Alhamdulillah, because of the experience I have, I can tell almost immediately what a body type is. And I remember about a few years ago, I did an interview with Masiha on Salam Media, and I did a body type analysis for on air, and she was shocked. We've been friends ever since. So I do a body type analysis based on that, based on what they look like, the foods that you crave, specifically where on your body your fat is, and then I put them on an eating plan, and then everybody gets a little booklet. And we also have our own Ramadan plan, because we make it personalized for each person. And then they get a little booklet like this. And in the booklet, there'll be a week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 plan. But when you come and see me, I will adjust it. So I know that you've got a function coming up this weekend. It's Eid or it's Ramadan. So I adjust it for each person. And it works really well. It's based on a diet plan that was researched for over 10 years in America. And we're not Americans, and we like eating different kinds of food here in South Africa. So I've changed a lot to suit the South African environment. And I get patients from all over the world actually coming to see me. So I've got lots of patients from Johannesburg who do phone consults with me just like this, or they'll fly down to do liposuction and then I'll do a consult. I've got Cape Town, people from Bloemfontein, Falls, all over. I've got a patient from Doha, from Dubai, Australia, England. They come to South Africa just to do liposuction because the rate is quite good when you change from pounds to rands.
All right. Speaking about the rates of liposuction, so the liposuction that you do, laser lipo, is it more affordable than the one that we know of, that where you cut and you suck out the fat and whatever it is that they do?
So traditional liposuction, you have to go into hospital. It's a 6-week recovery. So you'll be in hospital for about, when you come out of hospital, you get a cut so that it's wound healing because it's such a massive cut, and you have to wear compression garments. Sometimes you have to go for massage therapy. And of course, you're going to pay for the surgeon, the hospital, and the anesthetist. What I do is we do it here in my practice. I've got my own theater. It's done under local anesthetic. It's like going to the dentist. So you come in the morning, we do your analysis, do your blood sugar, blood pressure, we do some your HbA1c, give you some nice drugs, so you're nice and sedated in theatre, and you're wide awake. So if I need you to move over to the left, over to the right, I can get to the fat areas. And yeah, I'm in, it's done under full PPE, so full scrubs. I'm in scrubs, and I talk to the patient throughout the procedure, and we have lots of fun in our theatre. It is a theatre after all, so there's a lot of theatrics that happen in theatre.
I can
Singing, dancing,
imagine.
we discuss religion, lots of other things can't say here, because what happens in our theatre stays in the
Stay
theatre.
in the theater. All right. On that thought, just stay with us, Dr. Nasiba. We're going to take a quick break. And when we continue, I want us to get into the whole ivermectin issue.
So this is let me on commercial. I don't know why the sound's so soft. She can hear me, but I can't hear her. Yeah, I got me on maximum here. I don't know how else am I supposed to hear the volume. It's very hard to hear. I've got, see here, I put that one up, and even this one here. This is on max, right? So there's nothing else I'm supposed to do. It's very soft. Normally I can hear it like the commercial is loud. But let's see.
Thank you. Now you give me the whole runner.
Huh?
You give me everything.
Yeah, and then you just be confused as you go.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Maryam Mkwanda. It is at 19 past 12. You are listening, and we are coming to you live from our studios in 92 Xavier Street, Robert Sham, Gauteng. Ramadan Mubarak from Harun Kaz. Shukran Ramadan Mubarak to you too. May Allah accept all our efforts. Still with me is Dr. Nasiba Kathrada, who is dubbed as the lady behind ivermectin. Dr. Nasiba, shukran for staying on the line. You are a pro-choice activist and spearheaded the group of healthcare workers called I Can Make a Difference. So the group took SAPRA and the Department of Health to court regarding ivermectin. So how did the news come to you that ivermectin can now be used legally?
Well, we were in court, right? So I was getting daily updates from our legal team. But I got involved with the ivermectin story when SAFRA banned it on the 22nd of December. And I was like, why? Because I've started, initiated a group called the Home Management Team here in Durban. During the peak of the first wave, we found that there were so many people who were not being able to get admitted to hospital because the hospitals were full. And there were a lot of doctors in our chat groups who were like, what must I do with this patient? What must I do with that patient? And so I got them all together in a group, and we had physiotherapists, we've got chiropractors, we've got dietitians, we've got anesthetists, we've got intensivists. So they all were giving advice to the GPs on how to manage the patients at home. So when I was busy with the protocol that we were giving out to the doctors, I remember in July, August last year, ivermectin was on the list, and it was not a thing where people were fussing about, because colchicine was on the list, remdesivir was on the list, antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, steroids. So I was like, why suddenly would SAPRA ban this particular thing? We had issues with colchicine, with hydroxychloroquine, but it was still a choice because it was a registered drug, and now SAPRA banned the drug. So I started doing some research, and then I found that it's such a safe drug. It's such a drug that's been used for such a long time. And then all of the behind the scenes of it's not being registered, has it been registered, all of that started coming to the fore. And then when my best friend's mum passed away, and she called me, and I was just devastated, and I didn't know what to do. And I'm thinking, there must be so many other people out there who just wish that they could have at least tried the ivermectin. We're not saying that it's going to work 100%, it's not a silver bullet, but at least give the hope back to the people. So that's when I wrote the letter to the president, and I said, Mr. President, give the hope back to the people and trust us. This drug has been around for so long. People are calling it the veterinary drug or the animal prep. It's not. It's a human drug that was actually formulated for animals, because there was no need to use it in South Africa for humans, because for lice, for parasites, and for worms, we were using other things. So if you were using other things, that doesn't mean that this suddenly doesn't become a human drug. It was developed for humans, and it actually, Satoshi Omura won the Nobel Prize in medicine for ivermectin. And that's when I decided that I started doing a lot of social media posting, started helping people. And then we could see that SAPRA was giving us a lot of pushback, and there was, for whatever reason, not allowing us to use it. And then the four groups went to court. We went into court as a group of doctors and healthcare workers. Then there was ACDP, AfriForum, and then Pharma Value, a group of pharmacists came in quite at the end. And all our cases, the judge ruled, will be heard on the same day, which was the 29th, 30th, and 31st of March. But alhamdulillah, we reached an agreement out of court. We were already started court proceedings, but our group got paid R500,000, in cost order, because it took us so much of time to get it approved, which means it's not legal for use in COVID-19, but ivermectin can be used by a doctor using his own discretion through Section 21 application or via compounding pharmacy.
All right. There was a question or comment on screen. Let's quickly get that. Karen Delzil says, I've got veterinary IV ivermectin, but don't know how to use it. I was told to rub it on my skin, but also told to drink it. The dosing, they say, is 0.2 milligrams per kg.
Thank you for your question, Karen. That's a lot. We get asked that a lot. So what I would suggest firstly, she goes to the website called ivermectin.africa. We put lots of information in there. Dr. Martin Gill and Professor Colleen Elders are working a lot with the people all around the world. And whenever new information comes out, we post it on there. So it's ivermectin.africa. When it comes to the vet preps, remember that as a doctor, we were not allowed to even stock tablets. Now we can, if you do it by the correct channels. So we would give advice based on the human preps. I do know, however, that lots of people have been using the veterinary preps. It does come in 3 different forms. You get 1% solution, you get a 0.8% solution, and you get 3.5%. So depending on the solution that you got, yes, it's correct, zero point 0.2 kilograms, 0.2 micrograms per kilogram. So basically you take so it would be for somebody who is about 60 kilograms, they would use 1.5 mils. We are learning as time goes on with more studies being done that there are different doses that you need to use for prophylaxis, for early to so mild treatment. If you pick it up quite early, the COVID, if the person's already moderate to severe but still at home, there's a different dose, and if they're in hospital. So if the lady wants to take it for prophylaxis, my recommendation is 0.3, not 0.2, because we found that the higher doses, just a little bit higher, will be better, and you take it every 2 weeks, not every week. If you're taking 0.2, then take it every week. So it depends specifically on the weight of the person and what solution you got and the time of the illness. So then that is the reason why we encourage everybody who's taking ivermectin to speak to a doctor, to speak to somebody who has experience with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and talking about that, there may have been some people who used ivermectin and sourced it from a black market. What does that do to the person if they use it incorrectly?
Well, for me, ivermectin is such a safe drug. Firstly, it is more expensive to make a placebo than to make the real ivermectin. And the ones in the black market, they do have added things like naproxen, ibuprofen, and tricyclic. We don't know what quantities, but for me, more importantly, is if a person is willing to sell it in the black market, they must know how to take it. And you can't just go and buy it from somebody and say, oh, here, take the ivermectin. Because initially people were taking it day 1, day 3, and that was it. Then people were taking it every day. Then we realized that it was actually dose dependent. So now you have to know with ivermectin, because the only certain thing about this pandemic is its uncertainty. We're learning as the days go by. Every day something new comes out. And unless you with it or you know somebody who's keeping tabs on the latest information, you're probably taking the incorrect dose. What I know is that on the black market, the biggest problem for me was underdosing. So a lot of people, somebody who's 100 kilos cannot take a 12 milligram tablet. Then he said, I know somebody who took ivermectin every week and still got COVID. What is the person's weight? 100 kilograms. What are they taking? 12 milligrams. Why? That's what I got on the black market. Somebody who's 100 kilograms should be taking 24 milligrams. That's double. But you don't know because you don't know, but you just know ivermectin prophylaxis, but it's very dose dependent. It's like if you come to me and say to me, Doc, I have a headache. And I'll say, Maryam, go and take a Panado. And off you go. And you come back 2 hours and you go, I've still got a headache. And I'll go, Maryam, did you take the Panado? And you said, yes. How much did you take? You'll say, half. Is half a Panado enough for you? No. But is Panado the right thing for you? Yes. So you took the right thing at the incorrect dosing, not going to work. Same thing with ivermectin. You've got to take the right thing, the correct thing, and you've got to take it at the correct dosing for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Wow, there's a whole lot of information out there available, but the problem is that people don't want to go out there and get the information. They just take face value of whatever is available and like, okay, it's available, so why not? All right, you are also passionate about women empowerment, and what does it mean to you?
Well, for me, firstly, being an Indian Muslim woman in South Africa, it's been challenging because firstly, running a business as a female already in South Africa is actually in the world. I remember going to a ladies' empowerment breakfast. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, and Kani Domum Kize was there, and she said, the more successful a man is, the more friends he has, the more the women like him. The more successful a woman is, the less friends she has, and the less the women like her. And I found that so profound because I've had that experience and I see it happening all the time. So I tweeted about it, and then Darren Moore, one of the DJs here in KZN, he replied, he said, Dr. Kat, that's true, and if you think it's true, why don't you do something to change it? And I was like, he's right. Why don't I do something to change it? So that very year, I invited a group of ladies over to my house. So some of them were patients, some of them were friends. So there was a lady who ran a bus company, somebody who did a construction company, somebody who ran a lift club for schools, women who did some sort of business on their own. And I invited them, and I remember I do it every year since then. And in fact, last month, we started doing it every 6 months because people have a lot of fun, and it's a time to let your hair down and to meet other women and to network. And in my own small way, I hope until I'm making a difference. But everybody kept asking me, Doc, what is this for? Why must I come? How much do I pay? And I go, you pay nothing. And the point of meeting is to tell the woman next to you, you are amazing. So if each person tells the other person, just because of what you've done and who you are amazing. We don't do that enough to each other. Women are not encouraging of each other. And I started it in my own small way. We started off with 12 people. Now we get over 40 to 50 people. I invite them over and I do it at my house. And like I said, as opposed to doing it yearly, we do it every 6 months. And I was thinking about it the other day. I mean, people may think that there's so many bigger problems, poverty and hunger and, violence against women, etc. But then I realized that, everybody has a place and everybody has a passion. And there's a need for everything. And if each of us chooses what's our passion, we can make a difference in our own small way.
Definitely. And as women, we don't encourage each other enough. We don't uplift each other. And we're basically always just about pulling her down, tearing her down, and discouraging her and looking with contempt instead of, coming together and really being impactful as women and not just as an individual. I don't see why we should be competing with each other because
Sure.
we all.
Patients would come to me and say to me that they don't go to the gym because they're so fat. And so I said to them, what are you worried about? And then they'll say, oh, because, people, the men will look at me. So I said, let me ask you something. The last time you were on the treadmill, did you notice the guys going past or the woman going past? Then they quiet and they go, I noticed the woman. That one had a big ass and that one had her hair was like this. That one put makeup and came to the gym. I go, no, see, you only pick on the woman that came to the gym. You worried about what other people are going to say about you, but you do it to the other woman. So stop it. When you see a woman, I remember there was a woman that was at my gym. She used to wear this black shorts and shirt every time I was there. And I literally saw her become half her size. And I went up to her one and I said to her, you're amazing. I watch you and I've seen you. She didn't dress particularly, like with the matching Nike top and nothing. Plain black shorts and shirt and a t-shirt. And she used to come wearing all black. And I could just see the thing getting looser and looser for her. And I'm thinking, it's a little small dress. I'm quite sure she appreciated it. And yet another one will be like, oh, look at that fat woman coming to gym. Oh, look, she doesn't comb her hair. And I was like, look at what she's achieved. She's literally half her size. Yes, she doesn't wear all designer stuff and come to the gym. Her hair is not all done and the makeup all done. You go to the gym for a specific reason. And it happens in every facet of our life, Encourage each other and compliment each other regularly. Because all of us want that. We want validation. You're looking really pretty today. That color really suits you. But don't be catty and go behind the back and say, I just said that. We don't want to do that, Be genuine about it and say something real, And that's probably one thing about me. If somebody asks me something, it's very hard for me to lie and say, yeah, that's nice. But I do it because it's genuine. I'm not doing it because I want to hurt you. I want to do it because, I think I want to say to you, that looks really nice, but that doesn't. So when I do tell you that looks nice, you need to believe me because I'll tell you both sides.
I think in the spirit of Ramadan, we should take up a challenge and compliment one woman for the duration of the month of Ramadan. Just look for a woman and say something nice to her. Finish.
Love it. I think we should.
All right.
I'm going to put it on my page today. I'm definitely going to say that. Compliment one woman daily. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, all right. And while you do that, quickly, what advice would you like to give to our viewers and our listeners?
Well, firstly, because it's the month of Ramadan, it's supposed to be a spiritual and physical detox. And do you know there are tons of people who gain weight in Ramadan? It's actually shocking and scary. But the one general feeling people will say, I get so tired in Ramadan, I can't perform my tarawih, I get so bloated. I'm saying to you that the reason that happens is because nowhere in the Quran does it say samosas and pies. It doesn't say that in the Quran. The Quran says detox. So what I've done is for the last few years, I put a little post on my Facebook page every day giving a little advice about Ramadan. And the first one always starts off with water because people don't drink enough water in Ramadan. You start off the morning sehri with 2 glasses of water and then have your sehri. And the other thing I'd like to emphasize to people out there is the thing about khajur. People come and tell me, oh, it's sunnah to have khajur. How many did you eat? I have a bowl. A bowl full? Yeah, I'm studying. So after Tarawih, I sit with do you know that khajur is the only fruit that is higher in glucose than it is in fructose, which means it's sugar. And when Nabi Sallallahu and them used to have it, and the Sahaba used to have it, they used to have it as a meal, have a dry date as a meal. not as opening fast, samosa pies, eat the curry and rice, and then go to Tarawih and come back and eat faluda and firni. And it's not like that. And what's sad is that, Alhamdulillah, not in my house and not in our generation, but when I used to, for us, if somebody asks you about Ramadan, it's the smell of frying samosa, there's a smell of puri pata. That is not Ramadan. That should not be Ramadan. I had a patient that came to me last year. She's a non-Muslim, and she said, "No, doc, I'm so envious that you guys have Ramadan." And I said, you should, because it's such a spiritual month. She goes, "No, imagine if you gain half a kilo every month, and then 1 month of the year, you have to lose it, and you lose 5 kilos in a month." And I'm like, that's amazing. We should tell each other that if you lose your 5 kilos and detox, everyone's doing a juice diet and this diet. Allah Ta'ala has given it to us. It's there. It's decreed. Fast for 1 month, and in that fast, cleanse yourself from the inside and from the outside. And if you'd like to know more tips about Ramadan, it's free. It's on my Facebook page, on Instagram. Just go and look at the tips. Choose 1 or 2 and follow them and change this Ramadan, so that when you go to Tarawih and you get up in the morning, I had such a restful sleep. I feel so much lighter. And those people like burping in Ramadan and people belching, then they're like, "Oh, that's so disgusting." That happens because you eat badly. So that is my advice to people out there. Aside from complimenting one woman a day, which I'm definitely going to do starting today, it's also make that effort to change spiritually and physically, because it goes hand in hand. If you are feeling lighter and healthier, you are able to make more ibadah, and you're able to be more in tune with your body and in tune with your maker.
Well, we can be glad that people get to keep their masks on when they go for prayers, so they can keep their belches smells to themselves. Okay, Dr. Nasiba, quickly share your handles with us for social media.
So if you just search my name, Nasiba Kathrada or Dr. Nasiba Kathrada, you'll find me. But my Instagram, I have 2 pages, Dr. Kat's Weight Loss and Aesthetic Center, and I have Dr. Nas Kat. That's my page on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn. But if you search me, all of it comes up, and you're welcome to send me a private message to join our page. And if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer, because that's what it is. Ramadan is the time for giving and sharing. If you have a specific question, I'm very happy to answer.
All right. Shukran so much for your time. It has been lovely chatting to you and getting to know you a little bit more. And I wish you well for the rest of the month of Ramadan and your future endeavors.
Jazakallah khair, Maryam. It was lovely chatting to you as well. And let me know, tag me when you're complimenting somebody. I'd like to know.
All right, will do. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum. That was Dr. Nasiba Kathrada taking us through a little bit, or rather giving us a little bit insight on her life. And she has achieved quite a bit. And well, I've got a whole page which I'm not going to share. It's at 12:37 right now. Follow her on her social media platforms, Dr. Nasiba Kathrada, Dr. Nas Cat on Instagram. You are listening to the mid-morning talk on Salam Media with me, Maryam Mkwanda, and we will be right back.